In the current season of My Hero Academia, Midoriya is running from All Might and Shigaraki in his attempts to keep his family, his friends, and the people of Japan safe. He's constantly on the move. He is pushing people away. He is learning more about his powers than he ever knew. The fact that he is never stopping longer than a few minutes is taking a physical, emotional toll on him. You can see what it's doing to him. He looks a mess. He's nasty. He's dirty. People are mistaking him for a villain because he is exhausted. He hasn't had a meal where he could sit down. He hasn't had a shower. He hasn't had time to wash his clothes because he is constantly on the move. It is a fantastic example of how everybody needs to rest, needs to take a break, needs to decompress. Today on Geek Devotions, we're talking about how rest is essential. Hello and welcome to Geek Devotions, the show from Devoted Geeks who are devoted to letting people know that they are loved. I am Celeste and we are so glad that you have hit play today. Do us a favor, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and share this episode out with someone you think would enjoy it. We're really excited about this month because this is the first episode of Anime April. We're so excited about Anime April. We've got some really good stuff planned for you. We've got some crossovers with Beneath the Tangles prepared. We're just so hyped. It's gonna be a fun month, guys. I can't wait for you to see everything we have for you. As we said in the intro, the current season of My Hero, it's clear that Izuku needs a break. He needs rest and a shower and a meal and probably a hug. All of these are things that are basic human needs. We need to be able to rest, to feel clean, at least feel safe for a little bit. We need a break to recharge our bodies and our souls. God felt that this was so important that in Genesis, He took a break. He took a break from creation, from doing things. He rested. And if the God of the universe needs rest, what makes you think that you can get away without resting? God also in Exodus established very specific rules about the Sabbath, the day of rest, for the Israelites, where they were mandated to take a rest because they had gone years without resting. And even in addition to their weekly rest, they had whole years where they were required to rest, where they were required to let the land rest. Things were allowed to just be calm. This is so important for everybody. It doesn't matter if you are a believer or not. Rest is something you have to have. Some people call it self-care. Some people call it taking a nap. Some people think that it's being lazy, but it's not. Rest is a proactive thing to do to enable you to do what you have to do, to be able to do the things you do daily. So today, our devotion is nothing more than an encouragement to rest. For Dallas and I, we take short rests where we try to have at least an hour or two a day where we're together or separate and we're just not doing anything. We're not doing anything that's necessarily productive, even though rest is productive. And then we also, about once a month, try to have a day where we don't do anything. We don't leave the house. We might do some stuff around the house, but we don't go anywhere. Nothing is required of us. We're just being ourselves and we're taking a break. And then once a year, we try to have a break where we have several days off, where we don't have to do anything. And we work a little harder on the front end to make that happen. But it's still a time of break where we do things that bring us rest. Now for us, it can be anything from I enjoy sewing to Dallas enjoys building Gunpla to we play video games, we watch movies together, we read books. We do something that recharges our soul and makes us feel like we're okay. It rests our body, it rests our mind, and it brings us closer to God. So that would be my encouragement for you this week. Find time to rest. Even if it's just 30 minutes before you go to bed, you read a book, you do your Bible study, you take time to stop and just be, because it's so important. Everyone needs rest, and you cannot go for very long without it showing to those around you that you're not having that very basic need met. Okay, guys, that was your devotion for the week. I hope you enjoyed it, and please take this to heart. Find some time to rest, just to not have to do anything, to chill, to decompress, to be in a safe place where nothing is expected of you. And I know sometimes that's hard, especially for parents with young kids, because the kids always need something, but they can wait a few minutes while you take a moment to go. So, that is my encouragement for you this week. Don't forget to check us out on all of our socials. Also, a big, huge shout out to our patrons who make all of this possible. They donate funds, and for as little as $1 a month, you can also support us in doing what we do and letting people know that they're loved, because that is our mission. Also, make sure you're following our website, you're following our socials, because we're going to have some really great stuff coming down the pipeline for you this month about anime. We've already had a daily Guess the Anime thing going on our social media, and it's been a lot of fun. Poor Francisco thinks everything is Inuyasha. It's not. Except Inuyasha. He didn't think that was Inuyasha. It's a thing. It is now time for the question of the week. Question of the week is this: how do you find rest? For me, it depends. Sometimes it's sitting down and crocheting. Sometimes it's splatting. A lot of times it's just letting my brain disconnect. I tend to be an overthinker. I think things a lot. My mind is always going. So when I find an activity that either my brain can disconnect or it can focus in on one thing instead of 5 different things, then that is what brings me rest. So sometimes it's splatting on Splatoon. Sometimes it's reading a book that draws me so in that my brain doesn't have time to think about anything else. Sometimes it's just sipping a cup of coffee and listening to some lo-fi. You never know what it is, but how do you find rest? Leave comments down below. All that being said, stay devoted, peace, and love.